Good afternoon, everyone. Carolyn Russin here, professional life coach. Thanks for joining me. I want to talk to you about something today that so many members in my group struggle with. And it's something that so many women, 40 to 65, 70-ish in there, struggle with. And it's the whole, and you've heard me talk about this, but we're going to go in a different angle here, about not prioritizing themselves. Hi, Connie, and how we don't look after ourselves, but we just assume that we're going to be okay, that we look after everyone else. Hi, Debbie. Look after everyone else, our kids, our spouse, our parents, if they're still alive, siblings, friends, whomever. Hi, Joy. But we don't prioritize ourselves. And when we do start to, or we try to, there's this huge feeling of guilt that's attached to it. And it feels uncomfortable. It feels icky. And there's lots of reasons for that. And so we kind of push it aside. And then many women get to the point where it's just getting too hard. And they realize, okay, I need to start looking after myself. And I need some help doing it. And they reach out. But then all of a sudden, hi, Bobby, there's a price attached. When you seek help, if you're hiring somebody, there's obviously a price attached to that. So now, not just are they feeling the guilt of actually, putting the time in to try and help themselves opposed to somebody else. Now they're going to have to pay money for this. So now the guilt is massive that they're feeling. So of course, the first instinct is, I don't have the money. I can't do this. And for some people, that's true. I get that. But for many, it's not. And I'll give you the example. I've gone through a lot of this myself, okay? I've been coached. I've gone through this process, which is why I am where I am today. Because it shocks me the number of people that are out there who are coaching and whatnot, who've never been through a coaching process, who've never done the work themselves. To me, if you need to do the work yourself, if you're going to then be able to help other people, never mind all the training and education on top of that. So I get it, where I knew I needed the help and I needed to do the work on myself. And then I saw the price tag and it's just like, and did I have that money just floating around thinking, where am I going to spend this money? No, absolutely not. So then it was like, wow, and it's an icky feeling for yourself when you haven't invested in yourself before. It is an icky, icky feeling. Hi, Anita. Because it's that guilt of, well, is it really worth it? What if it doesn't work? Well, I could really spend that money somewhere else. So again, you're back into this priority or pattern of not prioritizing yourself and thinking, okay, it's not that bad. How many years, give me a thumbs up, how many times have you said to yourself, well, it's not that bad. I'm not dying. It could be worse. But you're not feeling the joy. You're not feeling fulfilled and satisfied in your life. Give me a thumbs up if you've ever experienced that before where, well, it's not that bad. So again, you're sacrificing yourself. And so then we wonder why we're shocked later in life when we're like, we're really not happy. And I don't know why. Well, it's because we haven't prioritized ourselves. So I want to kind of go through a few reasons why this happens, because it's important to understand the why behind it, why we get to where we are in neglecting ourselves and not feeling comfortable to prioritize ourselves enough and to invest in ourselves and have the confidence that we are worth it. So one of the first ones is just the norms of our society, where our generation is still in that mindset of, well, you don't really go for help unless you're really screwed up. And it's so refreshing to me seeing my kids' generation that perception is changing. And thank goodness. Thank goodness. Hi, Angie. So they are now coming in, because I have some clients, even though the majority of my clients are, 40 plus, I do have some that are younger, that are in university and whatnot. And they see this as being normal. They see this as, I need help with some of these areas, and so great, you're helping me. It's normal. Our generation is still on that kind of, some people, it just feels uncomfortable. Like there's something wrong with me if I have to reach out for help. So, hi Kimberly. So just remembering that there's nothing wrong with it. You know, if you had a problem with your kidney, you'd go see the doctor. You'd go see that specific doctor that would help you with that problem. It's the same thing. If you're having, I won't even say mental health issues, because again, there's stigma around that. If you're struggling coping, if you're struggling finding your joy, it's important to reach out. Okay, so talking about the society and what's normal. Parental guilt, massive. Hi, Joy. That it's funny because I often get this example of my parents, and I thought they had it wrong as a child, but now as a parent, I get it. My dad was a school principal. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, and every March break, hi Debbie, they would hop on a plane and they'd go to Barbados every March break. Now I'm the youngest of 4. There's big age difference, and I guess when we were younger, my grandmother would come and stay with us. But anyway, and I kept thinking, why? Like, why do they never take us? And they used to say, it's important that we have this time together. Hi, Colleen. So off they'd go. And I was 18 years old before the first time I stepped foot on a plane, when I actually went on a trip myself. And it's interesting now, because now our generation is more, no, you do everything for your kids. You sacrifice everything for your kids. I'm guilty of it, okay? I am part of that generation. I am guilty of that. When I think of the number of trips that we've had as a family, it has all been together. I think my husband and I have been on one, where we've hopped on a plane, the two of us, just ourselves. So I get it. And then we're shocked that we're raising kids who see the world revolving around them. So this parental guilt of, we think nothing, again, I'm guilty of this too, think nothing of spending thousands of dollars on our kids' activities, sports, different activities, whatever they're doing, thousands of dollars, but to turn around and spend some on us, we feel guilty, okay? And then that kind of ties into the whole selfishness part, this myth of, if you are going to take that time and that money to look after yourself, you are being selfish. Well, you know, it goes back to the old analogy of on the plane. You know, the oxygen masks come down. What are you told to do? Grab yours first and put it on, and then you can help your kids. And this is where we have it so backwards as parents right now. Again, I'm guilty too, of looking after your kids before you look after yourself. For me, what a shift that was. When I started to prioritize myself, I started showing up as a better parent. I started showing up as a better wife, because I thought before I had to sacrifice everything. I was running around here, there, and everywhere, juggling 10 balls in the air and thinking that's what you have to do as a good mom, as a good wife, as a good daughter, etc. Not at all. I can now see, looking back, how I wasn't showing up as the best me. I was not showing up as the best mom or the best wife. Now when I take time for me, when I prioritize myself, when I prioritize my growth, it makes a huge, huge difference. If you have never tried that before, you won't see that. You have to experience to actually see that shift. And of course, there's long-term effects. There's a reason why I work with many women who are 40 plus, because you've been doing this for decades. And it's like a snowball effect. Hi, Stephanie. And it accumulates over time, and it accumulates and accumulates, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, to the point where you're like, I speak to so many women who are like, I don't know how I got here. I don't know, why am I not fulfilled? I don't even know what I want anymore. That is such a common thing for women to say, because they have allowed themselves to sacrifice themselves, because they're trying deep down. They're trying, hi Catherine, they're trying to do the best that they can, because they don't want to be seen as selfish. So they just put everything on the table. and they are just drained and unfulfilled and unhappy, and yet they look around and think, but I have it all. You know, many women that I talk to that are married are like, but I have it all. I have a great husband. I've got wonderful kids, a nice home. Why am I not happy? And that's exactly what I went through like 10, 15 years ago. Exactly what I went through. I was not happy. And talk about embarrassing. How do you even talk to anyone? How do you talk to your friends about, yeah, I'm really not happy? And they'd look at me like I have two heads. Like, what is wrong with you? You've got the dream life. But I wasn't fulfilled because I was sacrificing myself constantly. Often we get sucked into comparing. So we see other moms who seem to be doing it all. And, you know, this is where social media is not our friend. You go on social media and you see all these people who are having fabulous lives, who have no stress, have no problems, and they're doing it all with such ease. Well, you know, like, come on, that's just a load of crap. And so be careful if you get caught in that, comparing yourself to someone else, because you're just going to set yourself up for failure. So just beginning to prioritize your own mental health is massive, and allowing yourself to do that without the guilt so that you can prioritize your self-worth, because you are important. You are so important. No matter where you are in your life. Again, you know, I deal with a lot of women who are married. I deal with a lot of women whose marriages are broken up because they've gotten to this point where they haven't prioritized themselves. They feel really unfulfilled. They have no idea who their spouse is anymore because that whole relationship's been neglected. But understanding, prioritizing your self-worth is important. So tying back to the beginning here, because this is going on longer than I normally do. I like to keep them really short. Tying back to the beginning, where I talk with a lot of women who are like, yes, I need to prioritize myself. Yes, I need to do this. But then when it comes to the time, when it comes to the money, all of a sudden, that's where the excuses come out. Because that's where the fear is. That fear of, is this going to work? Am I good enough to do this? Can I prioritize my self-worth? That's where all the guilt and all that ickiness comes in. And so again, tying it back to myself, when I went through and I did all this work for myself, yeah, this money was not floating around. It wasn't like I had all this extra cash around. I had to look at credit cards. I had to look at savings. I had to be creative. And okay, how am I going to do this for me? And you know what was shocking? I don't know about the rest of you, but one of my fears was sharing this with my husband, who likes to save. And I didn't know what he would think of me wanting to spend this much money on my own personal growth. I was shocked at his response. He was totally supportive. And that was a big stressor for me. I was worried about that and totally shocked when he was so supportive. So I don't know who you've got around and who you need to talk to and whatnot, even if this is in your realm of what you're looking at. But it's a new year. It's time for a new you. And one question I always ask women when I'm on the phone with them is, if you don't change, if you're not happy right now, you're not happy where you are, and you don't change, what's your life going to look like 5 years from now? Because often we get so consumed in the day-to-day and what's going on that we don't stop to look at the big picture. And for many of them, they're like, oh crap, like 5 years from now, I'm going to be 60. And what's my life going to look like? That's not what I want my life to look like. They can see it. And so sometimes that's a little motivating, a little kick in the butt to say, you know what, I need to step up now and I need to grab this for me. So hopefully this is helpful. You know, give me a thumbs up if this resonates with you at all. If you'd like to hop on a free call, there's no obligation, there's no pressure. Absolutely drop me down in the comments and I can set something up with you, no problem. But no matter what you decide to do something for you this year. Like, step up, put your money where your mouth is, no matter what that looks like, and do something for you and feel good about it. Anyway, hopefully that helps. Take care.